Bold crew is caught on camera running out of the Nordstrom in River North with the designer goods.
Our Jermont Terry is always investigating, live off the Mag Mile, looking into the retail theft trend. Jermont.
Joe and Erica, this crew is accused of stealing more than $100,000 of high-end purses from the Nordstroms. Now, you might recall when Eileen O'Neill Burke became Cook County State's attorney, she made retail theft a felony for anything $300 or more. So tonight we're looking to see if that has slowed down this trend. It's just before 7. People are clearly on the sidewalk, yet that didn't stop this crew. They're caught on camera jumping into vehicles right outside the Nordstroms off the Mag Mile.
All right, these guys just robbed, I don't know, oh, they robbed Nordstrom.
In the viral video, people looked on recording the brazen act as this crew
Look at this for a second. Let me show you.
out the store.
Look at this. Look at the people.
Nordstrom.
In the viral video, people looked on recording.
Look at the people, right? I was talking about this on the Millionaire Morning Show. This is the Magnificent Mile. I want to be very, very clear what we're looking at right now. This is supposed to be the premier shopping destination of the Midwest. This is supposed to be the space where if you want to go to get all of your luxury goods, if you want to make sure that you go in person, right? There may not necessarily be all of the highest end stores. This is the travel destination, the tourist destination of the Magnificent Mile. And it's supposed to be protected by police. People are supposed to feel safe. You see people obviously getting into stolies. We call them stolies because before you go and commit a crime, you go and steal a car. That way that it's never traced to you. So they steal cars. They go to the Magnificent Mile. They walk right in the door. They take all of the bags, all of the purses. They bypass any security because the security's hands is tied. They throw the stuff in the car. But the most interesting thing about this video, and I caught this earlier, is the fact that the people are literally just standing there watching. And you can't tell if they in shock, if they scared, if they just don't want to do anything because they don't want no problems. And the police is nowhere near anywhere. And so Chicago is not necessarily focused on, shout out to Mayor Brandon Johnson, preventing crime or stopping it from happening. They're only focusing on posturing because Trump is saying, listen, we need to make sure that we stop crime in all urban communities. And they are literally saying, we don't want your help. 100,000 in purses. That's crazy, family.
Recording the brazen act as this crew rushed out the store after ripping off dozens of designer purses. By the time Chicago police responded,
I feel like real Chicago. That's a stolen car for sure. Here's another guy that thinks.
the thieves were long gone, but the impact of their actions long-lasting.
These are professional thieves.
Investigators say the organized retail theft is big money, too. We're talking a $1 billion industry. Last month, CBS News Chicago showed you how the Cook County State's attorney was the helm of the nationwide crackdown, which netted 500 arrests, all from people stealing from stores and selling the goods at much cheaper cost.
These are people who do pre-surveillance on stores, no store policies.
And they know what workers can and can't do. And the Nordstrom staff, the crews encountered security, but was still able to get away. Last December, the Cook County State's attorney quickly rolled back Kim Foxx's policy. Retail theft wasn't a felony unless it was $1,000 or more, but Eileen O'Neill Burke reduced that back to $300. Earlier this month, the Cook County Sheriff's Office arrested the trio accused of stealing 10,000 from Lululemon stores in the city and burbs. And when we examine Chicago police numbers in District 18, which encompasses the Mag Mile, so far there have been 1,107 felony thefts, down 3% from the same time last year. And when you look at felony theft citywide, it is down 16%. But as for this crew, which hit up the Nordstrom, they're still on the run tonight.
And you know, the other part of this conversation is that Chicago, they never really catch the criminals like that. The police officers are so short-staffed that they are basically eating and they are becoming millionaires off of overtime. That is a fact. Everybody in Chicago is getting money. The criminals is getting money, the police officers, and this ain't the police officers' fault. It's not their fault that they actually down 2,000 police officers. None of that actually matters. The only thing that matters is the fact that the Trump administration is literally begging Chicago. The people in Chicago is begging. They are begging. And they say, listen, we want actual real problems solved. We want to prevent the crime from happening before it even happens. They'll sit there and they'll tell you, yes, man, well, the statistics and the crime numbers are down significantly. Bullshit. We know that the way that they classify crime, we know that the way that they go and juke the numbers, we know how it is that they just catch and release, and then it's the same people reoffending over and over again. We know that they lower it from a felony down to a misdemeanor, and so the way that they then classify whether or not it was violent crime or whether or not it was felonious crime is all different. We see the people online sitting there and saying, yo, family, please send the National Guard, send more police officers, send people that can help us here in Chicago. We see Chicago flips red, and they've been calling for your job for a long time. We see the fact that the schools are literally $734 million in debt, and the state is not going to help them. We see what's happening with the city of Chicago and that they are perpetually in debt last year or this fiscal year, $934 million in debt. Next year, $1.2 to $1.6 billion in debt. Year after that is projected to be higher. And so what Chicago was basically doing, including Brandon Johnson, and I actually highlighted this in the last video because the Morning Joe was trying to ask him a question. He didn't want to answer the question because he didn't want to be honest about the fact that they actually needed Trump and the federal government to step in and help them. What they decided to do was they wanted to pivot and try to move the goalposts and say, oh, no, we just need $800 million more of national taxpayer money so that we can ease our budget deficit and allocate more money to community programs, and we want to make sure that we hire people. What? Yo, it doesn't even take money to not commit crimes. They are driving out all of the retailers, all of the people that can hire people, and then they want to say, yo, the city of Chicago hired all of these youth in order to try to keep them off the street. They basically just giving out free money in the form of reparations to try to convince people not to commit crime, which it doesn't necessarily stop them from committing crime. And most of these people are not even reported and or caught. So it just, again, it modifies the statistics to make it seem like you're doing a better job than you really are. And every time you talk to somebody in Chicago, every time I do a live stream and somebody say, man, I'm in Chicago and it's in shambles right now. And it's not just Chicago, it's all of the surrounding cities a lot of times. I did a story about crime in Harvey. I just did another story about them robbing a third Foot Locker and ramming their car into it and running out and driving out retailers. I did a story about how the Magnificent Mile is reaching historic rates of vacancies that they don't want to talk about. They keep on talking about raising taxes and more property taxes when they are amongst the top and property taxes that they charging for large cities in the United States of America. This city is completely in shambles. And whenever you can go down to the premier shopping destination and get away with going to Nordstrom's and robbing them of over $100,000 in merchandise and getting away with in your car so that you can go sell it on eBay and you can go sell it on Facebook Marketplace and nothing is going to happen to you, that's a problem. That's a major problem. But I'm always going to keep y'all up to date. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. If you want to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments.